what to wear, what workout to do, what to cook, where to start on something. These are all based on decisions. So let's talk about decision fatigue. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, Lori. And yes, I want to talk to you about decisions and decision fatigue. It's a very real thing. And I know you'll use the term overwhelmed. A lot of that comes with your decision fatigue. So you know what fatigue is, right? To feel tired, to feel exhausted, it's fatigue, right? And decisions, we have to make them throughout our life. Every day, you have to make a decision. What are you going to do? These happen. So this is why you want to minimize and set yourself up for success based on not having 97 different options. It's funny, if you've ever watched any cooking shows, not Gordon Ramsay, but it's not even the cooking show, it's like Bar Rescue. If you ever watch Bar Rescue, sometimes they'll go in and they'll look at like what the person has on the menu. And let's say there's like 75 drinks to choose from. Okay, that's a lot going on in your head. That can be sensory overload. You're like, I want that, I want this, I want that, I want this. It's kind of like going to Olive Garden, right? This looks good, all these things look great. And that's why sometimes in Bar Rescue, he'll minimize it and be like, okay, these are the 6 drinks you make along with any of the rail stuff that most people get. And there's a reason behind that. It's kind of like minimalization. When you're minimalizing something, instead of having 8 different options, you're gonna have 2 different options. It's always good to give yourself an option or 2. But when you start getting overwhelmed with all of these, then you're like, my God, I can't make a decision. I want it all. I don't know. It's kind of like if somebody goes, hey, where do you want to eat? Well, there's like 800,000 places I'd like to eat, right? So sometimes you go, oh my God, I don't know, just pick a place, because you're like, what can I do? Versus if somebody said to you, hey, do you want to go to Chili's or do you want to go to Olive Garden? Okay, now we've minimized 800,000 restaurants down to 2. Easier for you to make a decision. So it's good for you to do that to yourself, right? So when you do that, I'll give you some examples of what I do. So on the days that I work out, typically Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the night before, even though my treadmill, my Peloton and my Peloton tread is there, or if I'm gonna go out for a run, my clothes are literally in my room, in my dresser. So you can be like, okay, just get up in the morning and put on something. I know what drawer has my stuff. No, still, if I open up that drawer, I'm gonna see 9 different sports bras. Sure, you might be like, okay, go ahead and grab one, but sometimes you just wanna just be able to just have it there. So I'll take my socks, I'll take whatever I'm wearing. If it's a fall day or a winter day, I might have to have like a pullover on top, and I just set it right out. I'll put it right on my Peloton tread. You can put it on your bed, you can put it on the floor, so you see it as soon as you wake up in the morning. You can put it in the bathroom, wherever you need to do. But yeah, you're gonna have to make a decision what to wear, but you're also not pushed behind the 8 ball, right? Because everything in life is some kind of a decision. And there is no right or wrong decision. There's just decisions that work, options that work, and options that don't. So you gotta stop with the whole, oh my God, what do I do? It's kind of like meal planning. There's a reason people talk to you about meal planning, right? You go, oh, it's a lot of work. Okay. Would you rather do the 4 hours worth of work on a Saturday so the rest of your week isn't a lot of thought? Or are you going to complain about it and then Monday be like, I don't know what I'm going to cook for dinner, right? Now, you don't have to cook exactly what you put on Monday. Just do like a 4 or 5 day plan or whatever. Let's say you're like, okay, I'm going to wing it on the weekends. That's fine. But give yourself options. So then if you make your 4 meals, or if you do it, it depends on if you're going to do them in little containers. It depends if you're going to do them in bulk. I would recommend trying both, see which works for you. Sometimes I do one, sometimes I do the other, sometimes I do a combination. But then if I go, oh, okay, I know spaghetti was Sunday and it's in here, but I don't want spaghetti. I'm gonna have chili today, right? So I still only have the options in which I'm given. So it decreases that decision fatigue that's like, oh my gosh. It's kind of like, sounds silly, but if you go into the nail salon and now usually I go in, I already know what I want, or if I'm going to do Color Street that day or whatever, I've already picked it out, or if I'm doing gels, I already know what I want before I get there because I have a Pinterest board, right? So what if you don't? What if you walk into the nail salon and they give you that big basket with all these colors? You kind of have an idea what you want, and you see that color and you're like, well, now I don't know what I want. Now I want them all. I'm not sure. Now you get frustrated. Too many decisions being made here. So you want to allow yourself to say, okay, I know for a lot of people, now I get to work from home so I can put on sweats or whatever, but if you're going to a corporate or a business casual kind of place, Know what you're wearing for the week. Does it need to be ironed? Does it need to, like, are you wearing a tie? Are you wearing, what shoes are you going to wear? Whatever. Have it out. Have it done. Do the little details that you hate so much. That's where the success is. Where you're like, oh, but it's Saturday. Like, I want to go out on the boat, or I want to sit out by the pool. That's fine. Just build in an hour or two here or there. You will eventually do the oiled machine. You will. It becomes a habit, right? So for me, you guys know I do my same routine every morning, right? If it's a workout morning, then I'll do that either before. Usually I'll do it after I drop Sienna off at school. But if not, I get up, I make sure I'm doing my journaling, I make sure I'm doing like the same things every day, because then it goes on automatic. Because think about the things that you do now, good, bad, indifferent, negative, positive. You're on autopilot. You're literally on autopilot. You're like, why am I so negative? Because that's an automatic way of thinking. So you have to retrain the brain. So by limiting the amount, instead of saying to the family, what do you want for dinner? What do you want me to cook? Okay, well, this person now wants this and this person wants this. Now you have 5 different options. Now you're like, what do I cook? Do you want me to cook spaghetti or do you guys want to roast? 2 options. See, you got to do that for yourself too. Because instead of saying, I'm going to go clean the house today, and this goes into the micro goaling and planning, you say, okay, I'm going to go clean 2 drawers in the kitchen. Do I want it? And give yourself options. Do I want to do 2 drawers or do I want to do the pantry? I always say go for the one that you don't want to do the most. I'm always going to tell you that. The difference between successful, whatever you want to attach that to, and unsuccessful people who meet goals is they do the things that you don't want to do and they do them first. So if you look at a task, and let's say you've broken down all your micro goals and you're like, okay, here's the micro goals. Ooh, this one, I don't like this one. I'm going to save that one to last. Wrong. Do that first. Do the things that you don't want to do first. It's the same thing I talk to when I have students who are my clients. Same thing. Oh, I don't want to do it. Great. We're going to do that first. Oh, it's going to suck. Don't care. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to twist that mindset. When you realize that you have less decisions to make, and then you look and you go, okay, what decision do I despise the most? Try not to look at it that way and just be like, okay, I'm going to bang this out really quick. Everything else is cupcakes. I mean, within reason, right? Not everything's just going to be easy breezy. But you have to understand that a lot of your overwhelm is because if I give you 800 options, you're going to be like, oh my God. And especially if you have like ADHD or if you're struggling with anxiety and things look chaotic and you have sensory overload, all those things are going to happen. But you have to know that. See, you're going to look at that as a weakness. Absolutely not. Hard pass. That is not a weakness. That's just an area that you want to lean into. You have to lean into that area. When you lean into the things that you don't want to do and you do them, now you've accomplished it. And maybe that's all you're going to do for the day. Remember, everything is not an emergency issue. Everything doesn't have to happen right now. That goes into emotional immaturity versus emotional maturity, right? So emotional immaturity is, I don't want to delay all of my satisfaction. I don't want to delay that. I want it right now. I want this right now. That's emotional immaturity. Emotional maturity is like, ooh, I really want that, but I know that there's a lot of steps I got to take. You don't have to like it, but it's the process. So when you give yourself a process and you're not looking at something on like, oh my God, what all of these decisions I have to make, and you're willing to put the work in, now that's called self-discipline. Seriously, that's self-discipline. See, motivation's not a real thing. And motivation is like, oh, this would be nice. I'm so excited. But self-discipline is, ooh, I don't really want to do that today, but it's part of the journey. So that's the difference. If you're struggling with self-discipline, then you're going to be constantly looking for that motivation. But if you're like, okay, I don't have to love it, but it's part of the process, that's the difference. So that comes into emotional maturity. It comes into discipline. It comes into lack of decision fatigue because you don't need that decision fatigue anymore. So call to action here, right, is I want you to give yourself that opportunity. Give yourself the opportunity to say, okay, let me strategize. Let me micro goal this. Let me put out the plan. Let me do some prep work. Let me take away some decisions. If you have 3 closets worth of clothes, you might want to minimalize that. Stop it. Oh, these are my gold jeans. You don't need them. I mean, fine, you're not going to wear your winter stuff in the summer. I got you. But if you're like, oh my God, I love those pants. I've had them for 10 years. Get rid of them. Bye. You don't need them. Limit. And everything isn't like, oh, I got to have it. Do the Marie Kondo thing. I love it. I was like, oh yeah, I like this, but I'm not like in love with it. So that's how we handle decision fatigue. So your call to action is to start minimalizing your levels of decisions.